ashes, the spirits light up the night.
Now, from the Untold Radio Network, it's Untold Radio AM with Doug and Alex Hychak.
Hello, Alex.
Hello.
Hello. That was a interesting hello. Hello, everybody. Sorry we're a few minutes late. You want to know why? I had to pee. I needed to go get pop and water. See, proof. There were some things like that. Just last minute things you forget about.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we have a great show planned. Episode 216 tonight. Researcher David Sidoti. Or is it Sidoti? Sidoti, okay. And he's all about dignity in Bigfoot research.
Yes.
He's got a whole bunch of goals. It's kind of neat. He's got bylaws that he goes by. And he sticks to them. It's pretty cool.
He's principled.
Yeah, very principled. Thank you. And I think one of his attempts is to basically communicate
With the creatures.
Yeah, habituate,
Yeah.
I guess. Plus then tonight, okay, so tonight we have a members only, I don't know what you'd call it, basically a chat with our members. So we're going to stay and whatever, and if the conversation gets interesting, I'm good to go till I die. Tonight. So tonight the show is going to end at 9 sharp. Totally.
Yeah.
If you're not a member, is there still time to become one?
Yes, there is.
There is? Okay.
Once you join, hit the community tab. You'll see the link and join right at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Yeah. Well, is there going to be any intermission?
Let's, no.
That was well thought out, Alex.
Yeah. Well, I think everything.
Tonight, though, is kind of, Alex talked about this. It's our little trial membership chat thing. So we just wanted to do it. Just do it. Don't worry about it.
Yep. And if you can't make the chat tonight, it will be recorded. So you can always watch it.
Right. And there'll be another one coming up soon.
Yes.
That will be earlier or on a weekend.
Yes.
Whatever everybody votes tonight on. So very cool. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Rabbit.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I'm missing something here. I'm looking. Oh yeah, that's so nice. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Just keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming. Oh my gosh. Doing podcasting, you make, what do you figure? Like $2 an hour, maybe, if we're lucky. Not that much.
2 cents an hour.
2 cents? Yeah, I know. But we don't do it for the money.
No.
That's the truth. We do need the support, but we do not do it for the money. We just do it because we enjoy it and because I think it's a good thing to do, and it just bring people together and learn together.
Yeah.
So, all right, we have tonight we're going to do best Halloween costumes. I was thinking too, next week, could people send in their Halloween costumes?
Yeah, they could send in
whatever.
pictures to Alex at Untold Radio AM.
If you want your Halloween costume, no matter how
nothing provocative.
No. Nothing like you would wear right now.
Yeah.
Anyhow, then we're not going to have trivia. We're not going to have tech breakdown. But next week, everything will be back to normal. But we're going to do Halloween costumes, best ones I could find on the internet. Bunch of Halloween video clips, blah, blah, blah. So anyhow, it'll be fun. And we're only 8 days to Halloween.
Yes. Wow, it's
Do
sneaking
you
up
notice?
on us.
You notice how on radio I'm trying to get a response. Part of the deal. Okay, so we have 8 days, and for those that like all those ghosts and pumpkins and skeletons, and it's kind of a candy infested holiday, though. In fact, I raided the Snickers bar bag today.
No, naughty
And they're
boy.
not very big anymore. They're tiny. Have you noticed?
Yeah, either they're getting smaller or my gut's getting bigger.
No. The bags are smaller. When you go buy Halloween candy, they're tiny for like $9. They're like little. Remember the bags used to be like
They're the fitness size.
fitness
bags.
bags. Good. Yeah, positive. Very positive attitude. The fitness size. I took your sister out to go get Halloween candy for this
That's nice.
for the real young little kids. They do these trick-or-treating trunk
Yes.
trick-or-treating at church. So at church, and everybody will, raise their trunk lid, and all the little kids can go around, and you decorate your car and whatnot. So I went up with her, and we picked out a bunch of candy for the toddlers, the little ones. Get them started on that corn syrup right away.
Nice.
Yeah. And you have somebody to take out trick-or-treating this year.
Yes, I do. A little one.
You look like you haven't even thought about it.
Oh no, we've thought about it. I
What?
don't know why I was just drawing a blank.
Drawing a blank. Okay.
Yes, the
Yeah, well,
little
you better
one.
get on it,
Yes.
dude. It's coming up
Yes.
quick.
It is quick.
You need to get him a big bag of sugar-filled goodness.
Now he's getting the fitness size bag.
High
of candy.
fructose. Yeah, no, I mean, it is bad. I mean, I look at the ingredients and I'm thinking, I just ate 5 of those.
Right. For me, it's a serving size is a bag.
And you can't stop.
No, you
Well,
can't.
What is your favorite candy bar? Or candy?
Whatever one I can find in the cupboard that Elsie doesn't hide.
It's not candy corn. You don't need that crap.
I'll eat candy corn if it's
You
there.
will?
If that's what I
Oh
have
my
to
God.
eat.
My weakness is Butterfinger bars, those little Butterfingers.
Lewis Black had a joke about candy corn that they haven't made any since like 1984. They just collect it out of the dumpsters every year and refill them in the bags.
Ooh, bad.
Well, I like it. I like candy corn.
Anyhow, $10 a bag for high fructose nuggets now. So I was very shocked. Very shocked, but then my health was like, oh yeah, I won't eat as much. Ready to do a little Untold news and get this show underway?
Yeah, you mind if I kick this off?
Please.
Untold radio news that can be a bit weird is right now.
I see the animators at the Untold Radio Network have been busy.
Yes, highly paid professionals.
I see
working
that.
overtime.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Have you ever thought about what happens if somebody dies in space? You go to space in a capsule and somebody kicks a buck. Have you ever thought about that? What do they do? What's the procedure?
I think you get a little plot and a flag somewhere on Earth.
No. I mean, you're in the space capsule.
Oh,
you're
on
your way to Mars, and somebody dies. What do they do?
Okay, because they have a plan for that.
Have you ever thought about it?
No, I guess there's a bin or something.
There's a bin or something. Just
The
a
duct
bin.
tape-
Just
duct
put them
tape
in the
name.
bin. That's what it says. Well, I'm going to get into a few details because it's something I've never thought about.
Yes.
I don't think most people have.
No,
Some of it's a little bit interesting. And obviously you have the photo up for the moon, right?
Yes.
So if you give it how
Incredible shot.
complicated human space flight is, it's actually remarkable how few people have lost their life so far. How many do you think?
2.
2. Really? Okay, well, we'll get into it.
How many?
I don't know. I'll get into it.
Okay, he's
I
getting
forgot
into
the
it, guys.
exact number, but it's like
I threw him
20.
off.
It's like 20 so far.
It's 20.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that one shuttle blew up
Right.
alone. No, it's been 20 people, I think. But anyway, we'll get into it. I'm going to read this. It says, so very few people have lost their lives. NASA plans on sending a crew to the moon in 2025, astronauts to Mars in the next decade, blah, blah, blah. So obviously, as space flight becomes more routine, there's going to be more possibilities of dying during flight, right? On your way. So it brings to mind the gloomy but necessary question. If someone dies in space, what happens? Alex would probably think you just eject them out the door, right? That's what you think.
Right.
Would you want to be just tossed out the window?
No.
Tossed out the back bay window?
No.
No. Well, I don't think anybody else would either. So, apparently, if you die along the way, they have a whole procedure. So one of the main things is they want to make sure you're healthy before you leave and that you stay healthy during your flight, right? That's important. Don't want any blood clots and little things that happen here. And it says they want to make people as healthy as they can. But if someone died in low Earth orbit, such as aboard the International Space Station, the crew could return the body to Earth in a capsule. That's your idea. But what capsule? Do they have one? A dead body capsule? That's what I don't get. I think they'd wait. It says they could send it in a matter of hours. That's interesting. Maybe they have one on board.
Yeah, maybe.
It doesn't really get into details. It says, or the crew would return home with the body, which would be really gruesome, right? Wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You could talk to him like a soccer ball during the whole flight.
Oh, jeez.
It says they have detailed protocols in place for such events. Because of that quick return, it's likely that preservation of the body would not be a major problem. Things would be different if an astronaut died during a 300 million mile trip to Mars, right?
Right.
What do you think they would do? Go ahead. What do you think, Alex?
Cremate him.
On what? On the ship? What do you think? You think Elon Musk is building a crematorium on the ship?
I mean, you could get rid of a lot of them if you needed to.
Oh my gosh. It said the crew would presumably preserve the body in a separate chamber or a body bag. Apparently, the steady temperature and humidity inside the space vehicle would theoretically help preserve the body. But all those scenarios would apply only if someone died in a pressurized environment. And apparently, what would happen if someone stepped outside the space without protection of a space suit? Says the astronaut would die instantly. The loss of pressure and exposure to the vacuum of space would make it impossible for the astronaut to breathe, and the blood and other body fluids would boil.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, that's brutal.
Yeah, you just boil inside. So the dude would die instantly. All right. Well, so we went through that. What about the burial? Suppose an astronaut died after landing while on the surface of Mars. Would they bury him on Mars? What do you think? Start digging a hole?
Yeah. They're digging a hole.
That's what you would do?
Yeah, I'd bring out my space shovel.
Space shovel. You would stroll to the spot, dig a hole with your space shovel.
You know the difference between
Elon Musk
shovel?
issued space shovel. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know the difference between a shovel and a space shovel?
No,
One's in space.
that's really funny. Okay. Apparently, a burial would not be a good idea
No.
because of the bacteria and other organisms from the body would contaminate the Martian surface, and thus mammoths would be born and Tasmanian tigers that we're going to be talking about next. Things would spring out of us.
Ooh.
You'd have donut worms in you.
Yep. Big, giant donut worms.
And it says, suppose the astronaut died. Apparently, cremation isn't good either. Requires too much energy. So you'd be using up energy for the surviving crew. Instead, the crew would likely preserve the body in a specialized body bag that could be then returned to Earth. Yeah, right. So, I was right on how many people have died. It says the human space exploration began over 60 years ago. 20 people have died. 14 in the NASA space shuttle tragedy of 1986 and 2003. 3 cosmonauts during the 71 Soyuz 11. And 3 astronauts from the Apollo 1 launch pad fire in 1967. There you go.
Wow.
So we covered that gruesome topic.
What's next on the docket?
The Tasmanian tiger apparently has been a big breakthrough, is poised for incredible comeback, right?
Right.
This announcement comes just weeks after Colossal Biosciences unveiled ambitious plans to bring back the woolly mammoth. That's coming. We got to live long enough to see this. The last known Tasmanian tiger died at the Hobbit Zoo, right? In 1936, I believe. So apparently this massive breakthrough to bring back the thylacine has been announced. It's a marsupial predator. That's really cool. Says they're one step closer now thanks to a Texas-based Colossal Biosciences, and they're known for their cutting-edge work in species preservation and de-extinction. Right? And that's where someone's got to bring a Bigfoot now. If they hit one with their Tesla, they need to get it down to Texas to Colossal Biosciences. Right?
Colossal Bioscience.
Just get a receipt when you drop the body off.
Yes.
Please.
Get a receipt, please.
Get a receipt. One dead Bigfoot.
That died of natural causes.
Yeah, it doesn't really say. I mean, this article is so long. Throw up photo 3. I do want to show that. It's really, these things really have amazing teeth. They're not that big, but look at that.
Those are some gnarly teeth.
Yep, they really do. I just look how they fit together so perfect. So apparently that's the skull they used to get the DNA out of. They are 99.9% now they have it. And I'm thinking they don't have that last 0.1%. Maybe you could send them some of your cat DNA or something.
Yeah, they'll just
fill it in.
Mix her up like a cocktail.
Yeah, it's just 0.1% of 1%. What could go wrong?
Yeah, that's
Patch
not
her in. From your Maine Coon. What do you have? No, you don't have a Maine Coon.
No, those are giant, Dad.
What do you have?
I have a British short hair.
Oh yeah, British short hair. I always forget.
A British domestic short hair.
Anyhow, so it's coming because they got 99.9% of the DNA retrieved. Then a mega meteorite, apparently they found this out, tore up the seabed and boiled the Earth's oceans. I want you to picture that. Picture all of the oceans so hot they're boiling.
Wow.
Think of all the seafood. It's like Jugumbo.
Jeez.
Think of that. Isn't that crazy? How big do you think that meteor was? It was 60 kilometers in diameter. It left a crater 500 kilometers across. That's big.
That's huge.
And apparently, they said the tsunami from so apparently this tsunami was 200 times the biggest tsunami that wiped out the dinosaurs. You know, the big comet or whatever the hell hit the meteor that hit the earth and wiped out. They're saying this one was 200 times bigger.
Whoa, that's massive.
It was 66 dinosaurs got wiped out 66 million years ago. And apparently the oceans boiled. I don't know when. It doesn't say. Said it was big. I don't know. Great article. Big. And then scientists thought that this fish has been extinct for 20 years. Speaking of extinct animals, go ahead and throw up photo 5. The ghost fish, aptly named. There it is. That is a ghost fish. And that ghost fish disappeared for 20 years. They haven't found one. Suddenly, they caught one. And I think this guy's getting ready to eat it. No, I think that's a researcher. Says here, when scientists heard reports of a large and mysterious fish that had been caught in Cambodia in 2020, they got all excited, whatever. And then apparently that fish, I don't know, they couldn't find it, or somebody reported it, they ate it or whatever. But no, I'm trying to figure this out because it's really confusing. I don't know. Photos. I'm reading this fast. So apparently these can grow as big as 66 pounds. Oh, the fish was sold before scientists could get to it. The last one. So it's just rumors, right? Just blind information. But now they have it. They actually have a sample confirmed. These things can get up to 66 pounds and measure between this one measured between 11 and 13 pounds, apparently. Well, there we go. What?
It's a big boy. Look at that fish.
That's not big. 66, that fish is like probably 11, 10 pounds.
That's bigger than the fish I catch.
Yeah, I just think it's cool. These Lazarus animals, they always think are extinct, and
they're bringing them back.
They're back.
Yeah.
I think the thylacine is already back. I mean, there's some really good video of those.
Yeah.
Things. So I don't even think they're gone. I think they just can't find them. So, all right. Now there was another meteorite hit that made the news. Throw up photo 6 on this one because ancient life on Earth might have thrived after this. I call it's the manure meteorite, right? It fertilized.
Yeah,
it was the size of Mount Everest, and it fertilized all of Earth when it hit. So bacteria and things could thrive. It made Earth less sterile.
Less sterile.
Right. Far less sterile. And this was the S2 meteorite. So it's a big ball of manure, hits the Earth, lots of stuff happens, but it allowed single cell organisms that feed off the elements such as phosphorus and iron and things like that. It stirred up all the oceans. It did all sorts of crazy stuff and basically fertilized the entire Earth. So apparently iron favoring bacteria is what we owe all of our life from. Iron favoring. I think that means iron eating, which there is. There is bacteria that eat iron.
They eat iron.
They eat bridges. bacteria. Oh, yeah.
That's a scary thought.
I was working on a doc with Stacy Keach called Giant Killers. We were studying the bacteria that eat aluminum, they'd eat iron, and all sorts of stuff for PBS.
That's fascinating.
You know how this bacteria was discovered on aluminum? Apparently, a guy brought a bunch of CDs into the jungle, right? Down the Amazonian jungle. He comes out, and you know that aluminum that's the plate, your CDs?
Yep.
It was eaten.
It was eaten.
Yeah, so it was just clear plastic. And he was like, okay, there's something going on here. And he took it to scientists, and they discovered this aluminum-eating bacteria, which aluminum is very toxic to creatures. But it wasn't to this bacteria. So there you go.
That's woo. I didn't know bacteria could eat aluminum.
I know. Oh yeah. It's there. It's something we probably don't want all over the planet because we'd have a lot of problems. You know, it's isolated in the jungle at this point. Good?
Good.
All right. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever. I'm here. We're going to do word of the day.
Word of the day. Let's do
It's
it.
a good one. It's a good one.
The new word of the week is sock sliver.
Why did you use that voiceover? Did you see what you just did?
What did I do?
You had the voiceover from last week with the audio from last week with the visuals from this week.
It must be your tech guy. I just got the download I was provided.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyhow, it's sine slope. Just can you put that up? Sine slope. Do you know what the sine slope is? It's a big problem in this country. Nobody wants to talk about sine slope because there's no word to describe it. Now there is. Can't put it up?
No, can't put it up.
Okay.
On something technical.
You're having all sorts of technical.
Yeah, we are.
There's got to be we're going to have to make up a word for Alex's technical problems. It's got to be a word. Alex hiccups, something. I don't know. We'll come up with something. All right. So we have a problem in this country. It's sign of the times. It's a big problem. Nobody's talking about, especially in the Midwest where rust, corrosion, high winds, right? And all this crap causes our road signs to tilt.
Yeah, they do. They tilt
They're
after
nasty.
a while.
All of them are nasty. Unless they're brand new, they all get sine slope. And there's no word to describe it, so they gets ignored. They're an eyesore. It's ugly as crap. Throw up I think I gave you a picture, photo 6. There you go, sine slope. Here's sine slope. Obviously a great example. I think this picture was from Europe, but whatever, they get the same damn problem. Cars hit them, they don't give a crap. They rust. Wind bends them. They're all getting old. I mean, our signs in this country are all getting old. But I want you to pay attention to how many are leaning. They're not straight up. But I figured we could, $100 million, hire a bunch of big guys with a can of spray paint, and they can just bend them back straight. That's all you got to do. Spray the rust with some green paint or on their way.
I'd do that job. I'm pretty huge.
Yeah. $100 million budget.
Yeah.
Country. If we do it my way.
If you do it your
Now,
way.
if you're going to replace them and blah, 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 it's going to cost billions.
Billions.
My way, 100. Yeah. What I mean, these things are wobbling, creaking, flapping in the breeze. You know, and there's a lot of them I see that are almost ready to, there's like one bull holding them together. And they're going to come down and smack a car.
Yeah.
Look at some of them. They're actually dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
They could fall and hurt someone too.
Yeah. Some are barely hanging on for life. So that's sine slope. We now have a word to describe it. I don't know if it's a good word. You guys could probably come up with a better one, but it needs to be addressed.
It does.
It's ugly.
Ugly.
All right. Enough of that crap. So next time, we want to make sure the words match the picture
Yeah,
for
that's
the word of the week.
key.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
I like that idea.
Yeah, we could really confuse some people.
Mush them together.
Now that we don't already confuse people. Want to hear a few dad jokes?
Yeah, I would.
They're dumb too. Super dumb. So these are Halloween themed, most of them.
Hold
Why
on.
are vampires easy to fool?
Hold on.
Why?
This is really important.
Normally you just cut me off.
I know. I
You
didn't
actually
wanna do that.
told me to shut up. Perfect. Good job.
I'm
All right.
trying.
So why are vampires easy to fool, Mr. Alex? Anybody
Why
else?
are-
You guys can.
I have no. Why are they easy to fool?
Why are vampires easy to fool?
Why?
Because they're suckers. What do you call a chicken that haunts your house? What do you call a chicken that haunts your house?
The chicken that haunts your house.
Anybody know? Anybody
No
know?
idea.
It's a poultrygeist.
A poultry, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I know. What do you call 10 rabbits? I said rabbits. Rabbits marching backwards. What do you call 10 rabbits marching backwards?
10 rabbits marching backwards. No
What do you call 'em?
idea.
A receding hairline. And did you hear my friend swallowed a whole bunch of cinnamons
He
yesterday?
did.
And it gave
Really?
him the sorest throat he ever had. Thesaurus, you know what the thesaurus is?
Yeah, thesaurus.
My friend swallowed a bunch of
Oh.
cinnamons yesterday. It gave him the sorest throat he ever had.
Oh.
That's bad. That's really bad. That's on a scale of 1 to 10 bad. That's a 10.
That's a 12 on.
It's a 12.
12.
All right, let's get into some Halloween costumes
Yes,
here while we're
yes,
just
there's
having
some
some
great costumes.
while we're waiting for our friend David. All right, clip C1, best Halloween costumes. Let's check this out. Do we have a drum roll? There we go. This is not animation. The guy did this. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's like my green spray paint. So you could fix the signs and make a costume. So you could use that bottle up.
Use it up.
What are you going to be, Alex?
Batman.
Batman?
Yeah, I got that mask. I got that mask you
the
made
mask?
me when I was
Did
like
you want to
12
tell
years
that
old.
story?
I think
Did
you
you
should tell that story. It's a great story.
Okay, so Alex had a Batman mask when he was a real little boy, and the strap broke. So I went and took a pair of my underwear and cut the elastic and stapled it. So you had Fruit of the Loom in the back, but you were too little to know. And he never
No.
said, "Oh my God, I was dying laughing."
That's what I'm gonna wear for Halloween.
You had no idea. You had underwear strap on.
No,
You could
no
clearly,
idea.
I left the tag right in the back. It said Fruit of the Loom. This goes way back. Goes way back. All right. Let's see here. Next clip. C1A. There you go. There's an idea for
A
you.
little Debbie.
Little Debbie.
I don't know if
What
I
do you
can pull
think?
that off.
I think you could. Just need a wig and a hat.
Wow, she's really slinging them little Debbies.
Ilse could be a little Debbie. And you could be the snack.
I could be a donut or something, a little hostess cake.
All right, next one. Clip C2.
Oh.
His head on a platter thing. So could you imagine doing this? What are you going to do with it? Yeah, sure, it looks cool in your house.
How are you going to
But-
get through the door?
Yeah, how are you going to get through a door? How are you going to go anywhere? There you go. It's clever. Clever, but impractical.
Yeah, those are my favorite costumes.
The impractical ones?
Yep.
Oh. All right, next one. Here is your idea, Alex. This is Devin's talking about sign slope. You can have sign slope, and this could be your costume. All you need is a sign on a stick,
Yeah.
a vest,
I
and a
like
hard
that.
hat.
He's in charge too.
Perfect costume for you.
Yeah. Might even get paid to wear it.
Why would you get no?
Look,
you
he's
could-
working.
Well, you could stop traffic once in a while. You
Right.
wouldn't know. All right, that could be yours. And this next clip is great. If you look like Demi Moore, this would be a perfect costume.
This is my favorite.
It's the scene from Ghost, yeah. Huh?
Yeah, the scene from Ghost. Come
There it
on,
is.
guys. The
Little
scene
pottery.
from Ghost.
Oh, God. Next one. This is a Halloween bonus. It's just how some great pumpkins. And all you got to do is get some carrots and not onions, potatoes.
Potatoes.
Soak the potatoes in lemon juice, and they won't rot. They won't turn black. Cut round holes, stick them in, and then you can use carrots for the pupils. See? Doesn't that make it cool?
It's super
In fact,
cool.
me and your sister are going to try this.
I want to see the pictures.
We'll send you the pictures. See the baby after we're done. All right.
We got some clips.
I got some clip pics we'll run through here quick.
All right.
Oh, I see
Now-
David's in the back room.
Yes.
Hey,
David
David,
got
give me a wave. I see him there. We'll have you on in
In just a jiffy here, we
I'd
just
say
got
like
a couple
4
clips. to
minutes.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold
Okay.
on, guys. Hold on.
All right, you're on your own. No sound. This next one is supposedly. What the hell? You just. Oh, never mind. Never mind. You went to Club Zero, which is what you were supposed to do. I've never had Club Zero. This is kind of weird. Look at this thing coming out of this crater. Now, I absolutely believe this is probably real.
It's a craft of some kind.
Many of these have been filmed on the moon by astronomers all over. The thing is that's weird. These astronomers will not acknowledge them as UFOs. They always come up with some other, explanation. Look at that little orb come out of there. Cool.
Very cool.
Creepy.
This next one.
It's kind of creepy. All right, next one, Loch Ness Monster. Or maybe it was filmed with a drone. Obviously, it's just a wake. Some people say they can see a hump. I cannot see any hump, but it's a wake. It is actually a pretty big wake because this is high up in the air. And that's what you get. That's all we get. It's all we've had for how many years? 50 years is wakes. That's another one.
So it's a thylacine.
It's not a swimming thylacine. The Loch Ness Monster.
Right, but isn't that what people think a Loch Ness is?
Is a thylacine?
Yeah.
That's a Tasmanian tiger.
Oh no! Hold on. It's
Alex is mixed up. You got your cryptids mixed up. dude.
thylacine.
That's a Tasmanian tiger.
Okay.
They
No,
think it could be like a Wells catfish or a plesiosaurus or whatever.
Oh, is that's what I meant
Plesiosaurus.
plesiosaurus.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I meant. I don't know why I was thinking it was a
Hey, I
thylacine.
see somebody mentioned buttworm in the chat. Is
The
buttworm
worm?
back?
The worm is loose.
Is the worm loose? Oh my God. Okay, clip.
Anyways, And you know, work on my cryptid.
We just digress. Ballworm. We've digressed. Clip 3. So apparently, I don't know where the hell you are. Okay, never mind. This is clip 2. Just stay there. This raccoon apparently really likes his cat. Play it again. Really cuddling it.
Yeah.
Really? That's amazing. Cat's like, what the hell did I get myself into? All right, that's enough of that.
What else?
These, have you seen everybody's seen all these funny face filters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just gone like too far now. Go ahead and play this clip 3. But this, I think you'd have sound. You have the sound up.
That's my favorite. Was that the
one?
golem?
You like that? You ever done these on yourself?
I've done some of them, yeah. It's with the water, man.
Apparently, the contest you put water in your mouth,
Yes.
and whoever cracks up first, you have to obviously can't laugh and have water. Good for some clicks.
That's just me normally. I don't know why it's so funny.
That's why I picked it. You have a big smile.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That looks like newt sacks.
bouncy.
That one would get me. You can play this game at your next Halloween party, Alex.
That's when I realized the filter's not on. Oh my gosh, what's next?
All right, there's another one. I put a 3A. It's more. This one's actually even better. Clip 3A.
Clip.
More of the same. Sounds similar. This one duplicates his face on her. Oh my God.
Look at the turkey.
We should do a show with face filters on one.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm getting scared.
Do this one. Okay, that's enough of that crap. All right, next one. Let's see. Oh, clip 4. We got a couple of prank videos. Great for Halloween. And this one's kind of the old, still statue comes to life. Go ahead. React.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm too worried someone would hit me. Oh, it's fine.
Gosh. I wonder how they would react in some real life situation. That would be... All right. there's
maybe
another one. Clip 4A.
clip 4A.
Sound. I think you got it backwards, dude. Clip 4A. That was the same one.
Oh, okay.
You know, A
Well,
comes after the
right. I think we have a technical difficulty. What about clip 5?
clip 5. This frog would rather be a leaf. Go ahead and play clip 5. No sound, please.
No sound.
This is not AI.
It looks
This is
like
a Malaysian
that's so cool.
leaf frog.
It literally looks like a leaf.
Yeah, that cool. It's my favorite frog. Remember how we learned they have to close their eyes to swallow? Frogs, all frogs
Oh
do.
yeah.
Well, there it is, even the leaf frog. They live in Asia, Borneo, Sumatra, and all that. Oh. Favorite frog. I wish we had leaf frogs. Clip 6, no sound. Monique Winter.
That one I did not have the link for.
Oh, well, I have it here. I sent it to you.
I do have clip 7.
How come you didn't have the link? Did you just forget the link? Because I know I sent it to you because it's right here.
I can show you what you sent me. You want me to send it to you?
No. Never mind. You're right. I didn't. It's blank. You're right again. Anyhow, I'll have to do that next time. But anyhow, it's a big fault line. A guy found. Monique sent it, and that was it's kind of scary because it's 100 miles from Yellowstone. So that's a super volcano. We don't want that bad boy going off.
No.
That's kind of like that's the end of the U.S. This one was interesting because obviously there's no way, but listen to his delivery on this. Most people would believe this. Go ahead and play it.
So in Lake Superior,
Lake
off the
Superior.
coast of Michigan, they discovered an iguana that is native to the waters but lives super deep in the water. So they haven't seen it until now. But scuba divers were really sent there and they caught this video of this.
These are those Galapagos marine iguanas. They live in warm water.
They saw it get a pikefish in its mouth and chomp it down. And
But
eat it.
this is just totally legit.
Iguanas live in a lot of the tropical areas, but they've never known.
All right, stop it. It's great for entertainment, but you should put for entertainment. This is not real.
Right.
Because, you just should. He's got other things like get hot dogs delivered from, I won't say who, but, free delivery on hot dogs, things like that, videos. People believe, yeah. Not a fan of that kind of stuff. Yeah. But if you just watched it out of hand, go, wow, they discovered a new creature in Lake Superior. Not. All right, clip 8, some real bowling. Do you ever go bowling, Alex?
Oh, yeah.
You ever mess up?
All the time.
Clip 8, this one's for you then. I've seen people do this too. Where the ball kind of connects with their fingers. God, don't ever rent a bowling ball. If you do, clean them out with alcohol wipes, right?
No, I like to get the used ones and then order a bunch of nachos.
No, but I read somewhere where there was so much.
I know.
They said packed fecal matter in the holes, and I went, no.
I believe it too.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Who knows? That could be BS too. I did read it though. All right. No sound. These are all next ones are UFOs that have been caught by Google Cam. Once again, God knows, is it real? I would imagine it probably is. These are real images caught. People have found on Google Maps. Right?
Right.
I've seen some weird stuff on Google Maps. Not that interesting, is it? Does anybody even care about UFOs anymore? I don't think anybody even cares.
Well, I mean, the
Unless
guy
you're
tells all
seeing
of
one.
Congress they're real, and everyone's like,
Yeah, I
who
don't think
cares?"
anybody cares. All right, then enough of that crap. All right, next one's too cute. Sound is good. A little donkey with a baby donkey that's almost as big as the mom is, but
Oh,
a little spotted donkey.
3 weeks.
They both look so somber.
yeah.
Baby's got hiccups. That's pretty cute.
That's adorable.
Got a good owner. Yeah, it's pretty cute. Donkeys are smart, man.
Yes, they are.
Yep. All right. Bonus clip. Sound is good. And this is the dog that you would be glad you don't own.
Sounds like a Bigfoot. That's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
I swear people who said Bigfoots talk like that.
Could you imagine? Got your dog looking at you going, Mama. All right. That's it. Let's bring on David.
All right, we're going to have David on in just a second here.
All right. Why don't you introduce David? You have all those notes. We don't need too much of an intro, but I don't even know where I don't know David. I'm excited to meet David. I don't even know what state David lives in. That's how crazy I was today.
Oh, that's great.
Do you have
David?
David,
Hi, guys.
welcome to the show.
What state do you live in, David?
Live in the great state of Florida.
Ah, what part of Florida? Northern?
Central Florida, Lakeland.
Central.
Yeah.
You survived the last two hurricanes, okay?
Yeah, we sure did.
Wow.
Yeah, fortunately, we just only lost power for 24 hours and just had a little bit of yard debris, but it was kind of scary, the whole saying here in Florida, if you see the Florida boys get scared, that's when you need to start running.
The people that have been there their whole life. Yeah.
It was literally going to be, at one point they said it was going to hit as a 4, and there was no way, a lot of things would not make it through a 4 in the state of Florida. That would be pretty devastating. Luckily, it died down a little bit and came in as a 2, a real hard 2, high 2.
Yeah.
And then it died down to a 1, which wasn't so bad, but it was pretty terrifying. The sound was whipping around pretty crazy, and we have a few oak trees close by to the house that we were just kind of keeping our eyes on that so it doesn't come crashing into your roof.
Well, I'm glad you survived it. All right. So what I really found fascinating that you've set this discipline markers that you like to meet. And I loved, there were so many of them and that you want to live by when you do Bigfoot research. And I thought, well, this is really, really unique. I do know this, that we all need a little bit of discipline, doing that, including myself. But I do know that it makes for a different mindset. I mean, you have a different mindset. So why don't you just, it's brief. I don't want to bore anybody, but why don't you tell them about some of the more important highlights of your manifesto?
Okay. Yeah. Well, what you're referring to is what I call dignity,
Yes.
honesty, respect, compassion, and loyalty. Which when I first started this our research team. It was back in 2000. Before that, I was with a large organization that was started out about the same time I started doing my armchair research, and that was back in '95. And I noticed a lot of people even back then. They were kind of like backbiting each other, and it was kind of like a race to see who can, get the best evidence or to discover these creatures, to be the first ones and all that. And it just kind of just took the research and just kind of threw it down the toilet, kind of, in my opinion, it did. So in 2000, kind of got out of that element there and created the ISRT. And those are kind of the standards we try to keep and with our members on our team. So so far it's been working pretty well. Actually, over the last 20 so years, I can see a kind of about face in the field of research with other groups and stuff that are actually catching on to that and those same kind of values, and which is great.
Very interesting. Alex, you need to pay attention to the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. One of the questions that would be really great to know, have you had any experiences with this creature? Because, interest can only carry you so far until you start having your own experiences. What's happened to you, David?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you this right off the bat. People always ask me if I've ever had my own encounter or sighting. And then the question is no, I've never laid eyes on one of these creatures yet. But I have, and my teammates have been in close proximity of these creatures, doing everything on the books as far as rock throwing, other objects being thrown, the wood knocks, the whoops, the howls, the whistles, and anything that they actually do in the forest, which we've pretty much heard or seen, of course, the signs that are out there. But I have not personally set eyes on one. Now, a couple of our team members have, and that was down in the Okeechobee area, and that was a real awesome experience for them. But unfortunately for me, no, I have not laid eyes on them. Although that doesn't skewer me for not believing that they don't exist, because all the evidence out there that we've come across points to there's a living, breathing family group of creatures in many different parts of the world.
Super interesting. Have you, if you were a betting guy, would you say you're 100% there, or are you just 90, 95%? Do you still think there's a chance they're not even real?
I don't think that there's any chance that these creatures aren't real.
Okay.
I believe they are 100% real. Of course, down when I started this, I was on the same bandwagon as many others relating to these creatures. I always call them creatures, and because it's kind of like the unknown type of scenario. Only because a lot of people think of these creatures as apes because they look and they live in the forest, so they got to be some sort of form of ape. The longer I was in this field and doing more research and seeing these things, and of course, when I first started the armchair researching, I did that for about 3 years before I even set foot into the forest, because I wanted to study exactly what I'm going to be, jumping into.
What did you do, David? Now, let me ask you, what did you do for your research you said you're an armchair researcher. What was your favorite thing to do? Listen to podcasts of sightings or read?
Well, I wish
like
podcasts
BFRO reports.
Yeah, I wish our podcasts were a thing of the past back then. But actually, I was reading thousands of reports online, and reading books. Of course, many books out there that was written. the John Green books,
Yeah.
all those anthropologist books. So I was learning. I was kind of like a sponge, trying to learn as much as I could. But reading the reports that were online at the time, I started picking up the patterns of these creatures in different parts of the world, and noticed that they all do similar things, even though they do. Some may look different than others in different parts of the country, and that's a given because we all look different in different parts of the country as well. We all don't look cookie cutter out there as well. And I don't think any creature on the planet is actually a cookie cutter creature. They all have their differences in appearance and so forth. And so
have you kind of come to the conclusion, like I have, they're basically another human? Kind of
the evidence that I see that these things are highly intelligent, more so than apes. Because my theory was, and I've told myself this years ago, probably over 10 years ago, that if these things were any kind of a known creature or animal, like ape or monkey, anything of that nature, we would have them in the zoos by now. They would be displayed in zoos and you would see it. So the intelligent part, and that's where the intelligence come from, is that these creatures are so intelligent that they're the masters of disguise. They can evade us very quickly, and if they wanted to. So, and everything that they do is, as far as different eyewitness reports of what these creatures are doing, methodically doing, only points to a higher intelligence. So they have to be some sort of a human hybrid, I believe.
Human hybrid.
Yeah.
Kind of like me.
I mean, there's no other creatures out there that have 5 fingers like us or 5 toes. There might be some deformities in some here and there, or they may have lost a couple of digits, running through the forest or what have you.
Have you been outsmarted by them?
Absolutely,
David, where you feel like, damn, they outsmarted me?
Absolutely. I've actually twice
okay.
with the technology, with cameras, and not just me, but I actually bounced it off some other researchers in the field, and actually they had the similar experiences where I would bait up an area with fruits and stuff like that, and one area in particular that we had a lot of audio recordings coming out of, that I would put up a game camera in a tree, in a big large oak tree, which one of the old limbs kind of snaked around and went up, and where it was kind of sort of flat on an angle, that's where I put a lot of bait up. I put some mangoes, bananas, anything I could think of, and also put a Snickers bar on there too. So I set up a camera there, and actually it wasn't too far, as maybe about 100 yards from where we're camping at, deep in the forest where we're camping in this one area. And so I just had to walk back down into the camp area. So I set up the camera, and of course, every time you set up cameras, you're getting a set, you're getting videos of yourself, straightening the camera, get it ready. You lock it up. Of course, I always lock mine up, but because I don't want them walking off. But the experience I had twice, and this was in a different area that this happened as well, is that I had videos before and after, but in the middle, I just got a bunch of file errors on the SD card. And of course, that's when all the bait was gone, and all you saw really was just the Snickers wrapper on the ground. And the next morning, looking through the film and the video, So that was the second time that happened to me, and it happened to me in a different area, what we call what is called the Green Swamp here in North Lakeland.
So do you feel like they're able to corrupt the cards?
Well, I think what they call this infrasound that they use,
Yeah.
they may use that uh, their ability. Because everyone's heard about infrasound, how it's used.
Yeah.
Do you
different animals have the same
so
capability of doing that.
do you think they're using infrasound purposely to basically disable these recording devices, or do you think it's almost unintentional that they're doing the infrasound
That's
and
a
it
good
just happens to
question,
knock
Alex.
them out?
I don't think they're disabling, because actually I was able to use all the equipment all over again in different areas. So it doesn't really disable or corrupt or do anything. It for whatever reason, however, does it? It's a mystery to me, because I don't understand how you can get file errors just in the center of, because I had these videos. I just do strictly videos on my game cameras.
So you have an IT background, right? So you're pretty good
Yeah.
with tech.
Mm-hmm.
So does it almost feel like they're laser targeting? Like it's like, bam, this is where we're gonna just cut that right out.
It could be a certain frequency that the SD cards don't like or what have you, and it just doesn't. It stops the recording and just fails on the recording part of it, and then all of a sudden it picks up after the creature may have gone out or gone away. Similar to how people get what they call zapped by this infrasound, and they feel sick and horrible, and and all that, and then it slowly goes away as well.
Be interesting to try to duplicate that with a big magnet or a bunch of electromagnetic energy, or just sound, of different frequencies.
It'll be interesting, to try that. But that's one of the experiences. Others we had is where we're having knocks and stuff in different areas. And one particular area, it's just I had my GoPro just stopped working. The battery just completely died, and it was full charge. Of course, made sure all that's all juiced up before you get out in the field. And I'm like, what the heck, it just suddenly died, and the battery's dead. Just swap the batteries out, and it's fine. Go on with life. But that was a very odd experience. Another odd experience I had was me and two other researchers were hiking this trail at night, and it's a place called Knox Creek, what we call Knox Creek. It's not the real name of it, but it's what we labeled it, because we always got knocks around this little creek area. So as we're traveling around at night, and it was about 50 degrees at night down here, and we hit 3 separate areas where the temperatures just jumped from 50 degrees to about 20 degrees hotter. And then you smell this electrical smell burning in the air. And we hit 3 spots like that on the trail, which is all 3 of us just stopped dead in our tracks. Like,
wow,
guys, do you feel that? You smell that? And that's pretty weird.
Can you describe the smell more, David?
The smell, if anybody knows, if you ever heard or smelled electrical burning, like wires burning, it's pretty much like that. Which didn't really hear anything like that, but you smelt it, and as far as the temperature increasing really fast in these little pockets that we hit was real strange. Now the other strange thing is on the way back, which I didn't check on when we experienced it the first time. On the way back, we came back the same way, and we hit those 3 spots again. I said, you know what, I'm going to look around and see what the deal is, and see what I can see with my my flashlight, because we were using red lights walking through on the trail at night. So use the white light, and on 2 of the areas there was small trees about size of 3 or 4 inches around, and about 7 feet up in the air was broken off. And I found 2 areas, or 2 separate trees like that, and these three little pockets that we found or ran into. So that was a strange experience, which, has me baffled too.
Did you ever hear any sounds? You didn't mention any sounds. Was there any humming, drumming? Somebody had mentioned.
In that
Travis
particular
mentioned drumming. Have you ever heard drumming in the woods?
drumming, okay.
Slow, sometimes very slow. My son recorded one during a ton of Bigfoot activity that sounds almost heartbeat slow.
Yeah.
On the recorder, remember that? It was like boom, boom,
Boom.
boom. Really
Yeah.
weird. Have you ever heard any of that?
I haven't heard any of that
Okay.
in these
No
areas.
humming? No like
Um,
hummingbird or bug kind of
the
wing?
the only humming I heard one time, and this was up in Ocala National Forest, which was about an hour and 45 minutes north of where the area we hit pretty frequent here in the Lakeland Polk County area. And that was back probably in the late 90s, I think it was, or early 2000s. I was out traveling the forest roads out there, and this is a national park, Ocala National Forest. And I had stopped my truck because I was driving around so much looking for sign and stuff. I had to relieve myself. So I was doing that and finished. And I kept hearing this hum. And in the forest, these roads are all laid out in grids. And this one, what I call grid, was a four-way cross intersection. And it was kind of opposite of where I was standing at the time. And in this thick brush back there, it was all, really thick. And I kept hearing this mechanical hum sounds in there. And it would just constantly, it would kind of change up and down a little bit in the tone. And I wondered what the heck that was, because I couldn't see anything. I got the binoculars out and I was looking through the forest, trying to see what the heck could be back there making that noise. And I really couldn't see anything because it was so thick in there.
Well, describe it again. I got distracted right when you were just. What was the sound exactly?
It sounded like a machinery hum, basically. And
hot dang.
And it's hard to describe. If the only way I can think about it is if
like
you ever
a transformer.
Well, no, if you
mechanical.
If you ever been in a rail yard or next to a train just sitting there idling, it was kind of like that, but not as deep of a sound of the engine like that. It was a little bit higher, but it would kind of increase, decrease in the tone, which was kind of weird. But that's what it kind of sounded like to me.
I think we're going to want to talk to you more about that. David Ellis is doing a bit of a gathering mission on hums that people have heard, because there's even been articles from way back, the early like 1930s, where people have reported hums, and we've got recordings. Tristan has recorded a number of hums. Other people have reported it almost like a hummingbird kind of hummingbird wings slowed down.
That's pretty neat.
That makes any sense? It wasn't like that at all.
No,
it was a hum.
It was a hum, but it was just it was pretty much like
a vibration type hum.
It would I would kind of throw that in there with like a vibration type of hum.
Okay.
But it sounded like pretty much like I was stating. It was kind of like if you were sitting next to an train engine, and listening to that humming and just sitting there. But of course, the distance was a little bit farther. You're not really sitting close to one of those, but it just sounded really odd. It was out of place, what I thought, in the forest. Where
you think
you would not hear something mechanical like that, especially unless it's
How far were you from the nearest like city or road, where cars were?
I was pretty much dead set in the middle of Ocala National Forest, so
Okay.
you're a good maybe 20 miles, maybe.
Yeah, that's
From the
pretty
nearest city.
isolated. You're
Yes.
not likely to hear, cars going by at that distance.
Not often, not unless they're traveling down those dirt roads. But it was pretty quiet that day, and I was the only one on the roads out there that I saw. I didn't see any other vehicles, but that was very strange. That was strange indeed.
Oh, we're gonna have to have Travis on. He's got some interesting stories too. Do you think that these things are dangerous? Do you feel really safe when there's activity, wood knocking?
I haven't had any aggression as of yet.
Okay. Well, even aggression could be just intimidating.
And yeah, it could be. I mean,
actually, when bears get aggressive, make a lot of noise, you're actually safer.
Yeah, so at least you can see them.
Yeah.
Some of these creatures
just by the fact in animals. So when you have to worry is when an animal's dead quiet, right? A cougar.
Right.
If a cougar's growling at you, chances are he's scared and he's not going to jump you.
Right.
But if he's quietly not making any, same with a bear, a black bear, they're not going to make any noise. They're not going to clack their teeth and slomp the ground and blah, blah, blah. So they're just trying to intimidate you. And I've always thought that about Bigfoots, that if they're wood knocking out there or they're doing any kind of vocals, you're probably really safe.
Oh, yeah.
Do you hunt at all, David?
Like hunt animals, game, that sort of thing? No. I worked with a gentleman that did that quite often.
Okay.
And he still does today, from what I understand. But he's an old hunter from way back. And when I was working with, this was many years ago when I started getting into this, and I'd ask him questions because he would go. He would hunt in Florida and Georgia a lot, and he would go by himself a lot. He would run dogs for hog hunting and stuff like that. And so he would, a lot of times he would be hunting on his own and still hunting, especially for deer. But hog hunting, he would use dogs. And I always asked him, I said, man, you haven't had any experiences out there, And he thought, he thought all this was a joke, Bigfoot, And he always told me, he said, man, if I ever saw one of those things, he goes, I'll call you because I'm be stuffing that thing because he was going to shoot it. And I said, I don't know if you want to shoot these things, but I said, you don't know about the other ones nearby. So, but he taught me a lot about animals and hunting and what to look for and the signs with deer and other game animals. So that kind of helped me in this field of research as well, the knowledge that he had about animals in general. And so that helped me out a great deal.
Well, one of the things I wanted to mention is I find, because I hunt with a camera, did a lot of that. So I didn't kill the animals, but I hunted them with a camera. And I found that the more I talked, the calmer they were and the closer I could approach because I wasn't in that predatory mode.
Right.
They didn't think of me as a predator because I'm talking.
Yeah.
And I never quit talking. I was just talking a nice low tone, and boy, deer would let me get really, really close, as would other animals. It's amazing. They're more curious than they're thinking, oh, okay, you're not being sneaky. Right. So do you practice any particular thing when you're out walking around in the woods? Do you guys all just talk, or you don't say a word, or what's your method?
Well, we usually, it depends on who's with us that day. Some like to talk and just, carry on a conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of times at night when we're doing a lot of night stuff, I try to, keep it toned down a little bit, kind of walk, because we're making enough noise and there's enough scent of our scent in the air that they're going to already know we're there, So, and that's how I got a lot of some audio sounds one night, is when we left the camp area and we were hiking down towards the river. And it was probably about 2 or 3/4 of a mile away from our camp. So it was a fairly good moon out, that wasn't really bright, but it was bright enough. So when we got to a point on the road, I told everybody, I said, hey, let's kill the headlights and everything. We'll just sit here and let our eyes adjust to the darkness and the natural light. And we'll start heading down the road and hit the river. We'll hang out there by the river and just, see what we can see or hear what we can hear. And all the while that we were walking, I had a handheld parabolic microphone with me, so I was recording all the way through the whole trip, the audio, and we picked up some pretty good sounds that night. And they're on our website that you can check out, listen to. It's pretty creepy stuff. Some one particular clip was kind of I wouldn't say like the samurai chatter type of thing, the Sierra sounds type of thing, but it kind of has that similarity to it. It was way off in the distance, and I didn't know I even recorded until I put it on the computer, after the weekend, and was listening to it intently, all the sounds. And this sounded like two of them going at it, just arguing, and it was way off in the back in the distance. But it was like, they're just going back and forth. And it was just that quick. I mean, it was, it wasn't really much. It didn't just carry on for a minute or two.
Is there anything we can access tonight and play? Alex, can you go to his website? And would you mind if we played that clip?
Sure, yeah. It's
see what I can find.
Yeah.
All right, we'll let Alex dig for that. I heard that my first talking live when we were up in Canada, finally, this actual sound like words.
Yeah.
And that was just so freaky. And we recorded it, and it was, God, I don't think it could have been 5 feet from our microphone. That was just so clear. We don't know what it is or what it means, or we don't know any of that stuff. But man, it's really something.
Yeah, if you go to the audio and video tab, you'll pull it up, and it should be that one, that second one down right there.
Night sounds?
Yeah, that's it. That was me, by the way. May have to turn it up a little bit.
I got it turned up all the way.
It's good. I can hear it good, Alex.
Okay, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are this dog. Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah, I heard that distant kind of scream.
That's another guy. This is where we got that. You hear that? Yeah.
That was the gibberish.
Go ahead and play that again.
That gibberish. That way. Over that way. Where the coyotes
are. Okay, so we passed the gibberish now, correct?
Yeah. Okay. It was like the fifth clip on there. I kind of combined them all together on this sound.
I gotcha.
Holy
It gives us an idea. I'm going to have to go back and really listen. It's why I do that. You can think, well, whatever. I'm looking for similarities.
Right,
Like
exactly.
what's similar with David's recordings to what I've heard, or that's what's so exciting about Bigfoot research.
Now, the
It's
interesting,
really in its infancy. I mean, don't you agree,
I agree
David?
with that. Yeah, I
It's
agree with
like
that.
it's in its infancy. We've not even started yet.
Yeah, that's Scott Nelson. I actually, did a really good breakdown of the Sierra sounds, and I
Yeah,
saw the video on
he's
that.
brilliant.
He's awesome. But these sounds, when we got them, all these sounds they were in the same direction that we just walked from the area. So if you think of it walking down a 2-rut road, and then you make a hard left, and then you're going towards the river, which is another probably 2/4, maybe 3/4 of a mile, maybe. So all these sounds that I was recording here, a lot of them, especially the gibberish and all that, were coming from the same direction we just came off of the road from. And then at the very, very end of it, there was like a snap that was pretty close, probably within 50 yards of us, and it sounded like just something just snapped a branch. And so everything, did they see us walking down this road and then watch us turn, and then all of a sudden, we get these audible sounds, and it's pretty fascinating. And the very first whistle that you hear on that was me trying to coax them to whistle back, because we did get whistles in this same area, approximately the same area here. It was after midnight, and we were all sitting around the campfire, just chilling out and talking about stories and Bigfoot stuff. And then we heard 2 shrill whistles that was coming from the opposite end of where we were camping from. And we all just kind of perked up and like, hey, did you hear that? let's go out and check out what that is. Of course we didn't get anything on thermal or night vision, but it was pretty, exciting, catching you off guard, and all of a sudden, okay, now we got to react. Okay,
Yeah.
we got to get the gear ready and see what we can find.
So, have you thought about how they make wood knock sounds? Have you come to any kind of theories? Do you think they're doing it with wood on wood, or are they using their?
I tried to do that, and I think many other researchers tried to do it. Pick up a stick on the off the ground and try to do a Babe Ruth slugger up against a tree with something that's dead on on the ground, which doesn't make any sense because it's going to be probably rotten, unless they actually break a sapling or a limb off that's pretty hardy and do that. But you're also you're going to hear the
Well,
crack,
yeah, you're gonna
crack of the tree
you're
limb,
gonna
and
need to have a very hard piece of wood on a hard tree.
yeah, I think also is they may be using their vocal cords for this, which is another avenue to go down. Someone actually suggested that they may be cupping their hands and just doing it with both their hands, just doing a kind of a knock like that. I've heard reports of people actually seeing these things do it, where they've put their head back and they heard this wood knock sound come out of their throat.
Oh, okay. Tell us that. What
that
details?
Was, I think that was just a report I was reading. It was I wouldn't say it was a recent one either. It was probably a couple of years back that I don't know if it was a hunter or who, or a hiker or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But they remember hearing and seeing something in the woods, and they saw this thing. It didn't see them, and they saw it throw its head back and just make this sound out of its mouth, and they said it sounded like a tree knock, a wood knock, which was kind of what a lot of researchers are speculating that
Yeah,
they
I'm
may,
definitely
they may
taking
try.
note. The head back. That's interesting. Head back. Yeah, I'm just thinking, how would that aid? Super interesting. That's a nice detail I've never heard.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and it's it's something for the books actually. It's things
Yeah,
that
big
we
time.
pick up. And there's and back in the day, they call it woo now. For several years about the weird stuff, uh, and I always find it fascinating that people get upset if you talk about UFOs and Bigfoot or any kind of paranormal stuff along with Bigfoot, and they called that the woo factor. Honestly, the stuff that we've been running into in the woods, there's a lot of that paranormal stuff that happens. Um, so and if any of this is related to these creatures, obviously they're probably able to use some of these abilities um, in the field in their areas.
Yeah. Now, Travis said palm strike, and I tend to think, yeah, he could be right too, with big hands that are cupped and like a clap. Doing it with a cup palm could cause that. That's a very good thought, good observation. I just wish we knew. I wish more witnesses, would give us that data. Are they seeing them clapping? Are they doing the tongue? David Ellis says tongue pop, maybe.
Yeah.
He said he's got a friend that can do it really loud, which is good data. I don't know. My buddy Eric is working on different, at some point we're going to show everybody, but he's working on different contraptions. He brought one over the other night to try to duplicate maybe how they're doing this, other than to duplicate what they're doing in their mouth. And it's
interesting.
And obviously these contraptions could be used by researchers. Once he figures them out and shows people how he built it, then they can go out and do it too.
Right.
But maybe wood on wood isn't the exact sound. Maybe it has to be some other, you know what I mean, that could really elicit a bigger response, right?
Well, it's interesting that you hear a lot of reports of people chopping wood, out in the middle of nowhere. They got a cabin, they're whacking wood, breaking wood, and these things they come up and they're looking, kind of see what they're doing, and that's how those encounters happen, so I'm not sure I've heard many times that they mimic other animals. So maybe they're trying to mimic someone splitting wood, wood knocks.
Yep. I've heard of sightings when they're chopping wood too.
Yeah.
Where they're getting checked out. That's really interesting. Somebody, Central Florida Bigfoot. Do you know who they are, David?
Yeah, I've heard of those guys.
He says something about you guys said you need to come to Florida where he's got a good area of that's not flooded with the researchers.
Yeah.
Is that a problem, David? To go to an area where there's another researchers?
In the state of Florida, it wasn't like that back in the day when I was starting this. There was very few, and now it pretty much exploded over the years. And now that we got a conference, have an annual conference here in the state of Florida now, that's it's intrigued other people to get out there in the field and do some legwork.
What would be your guess on how many Bigfoot researchers exist in Florida? Just Florida. Gosh. What's a good guess? Try.
As of right now, there might be at least about 1,000.
Really?
Maybe.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I think the more the better.
Yeah. Because I think we're according to the BFRO, we're like the third in the nation of Bigfoot encounters. So
yeah, I heard my first David. I heard my first wood knock in Florida.
Did you? Okay.
Yep, and near the Pensacola area.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Out in the forest in the swamp, and I was like, damn, there was one that answered us, and it was cool, and it was far away, and it was like 3 a.m. And this is many years ago. I doubt there was any Bigfoot research. This
Yeah,
goes back.
that's the other thing we have to worry about too. Is like if you hear something, it's like, okay, is it a Sasquatch, or is it
Another
some other researcher out there?
That could happen.
Yeah,
That could happen.
it's one of those things.
Yeah,
But
I worry about that once in a while.
yeah,
But generally, it's unlikely. I mean,
yeah, it's
low chance.
depending on the areas. I mean, some of these areas are pretty thick, and most, even some of the researchers probably won't go in areas that I personally been in. I've been in stuff that's pretty sketchy, pretty stupid too. Some areas, because we got alligators and snakes and all that stuff you have to look out for. But if you're trained on looking for those things and careful where you go into and where you step and all that, you can get it done, because this is where these creatures are going to be at. If they're going to be living in an area, I mean, they're not going to live in an open area or anything that humans have easy access to. They may travel around to get to water or a food source or something like that, and that's where they may or may not get seen. But they're always going to go back to the areas that they're going to be, hunkering down and sleeping and that sort of thing. So these areas are going to be pretty thick. There's areas up here where we investigate that there's a lot of hunting areas up there, and there's been quite a few hunters, even during hunting season, that have seen these things. And there's areas up there, what I call the cypress hammocks, where they're real thick, and they have briars, they have, you name it, and it's just
Florida.
You need
It's not
a
just
flamethrower to get through that stuff, but
in Florida, it's not just the animals that will get you; the plants will too.
Yeah.
Oh man, the briars.
We got all kinds of different species of spiders that are poisonous and everything else, so you got to be really careful.
Yeah, I still have a whole bunch of snake boots from Florida. All these Florida trips.
That's a good thing to wear.
Yeah, do you wear them? Do you wear those high
all the time
snake boots?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they're comfy and they kind of make you feel a little more secure.
Yeah, they're comfy, and I even wear my long pants, and during the summertime too. It may be hot, but you still got to use them because they're so treacherous, and with the terrain, it's so thick. And honestly, if you see sign going into some of these thick areas, you're just not, you got to track that sign. I mean, that's what you're there for, and check it out. So you got to get into these areas and do that. That's part of the research. You may not like it. It's not all warm and fuzzy sometimes, around around the campfire, but sometimes you just got to get out there and check out these areas and see where they're living.
Would David, you're a survivalist. If you have a new researcher that wants to seriously start putting time into the field, what's the most important things they need to know?
That would be the first thing, especially when people start to want to get into this field. That wasn't my first thing I got into, but I learned real quick. I might need to learn really fast on survival skills, because when I started doing this, I was doing it on my own. I was hiking the trails at night in Ocala, Florida, and which is very dangerous because you have the bear out there and everything else, and you have certain people that like to live out in the woods, away from authorities. So you got to be careful with that. So you really, I would say learning a lot of survival skills would be key. You never know. I always tell people, learn the skills that you're gonna need to survive. Pack what you're gonna need for at least a week if nobody can find you, or you twist an ankle, break a leg, or what have you. learn the skills if you need to patch yourself up. Anything that's going to keep your survival rate going until somebody finds you. Um, I have a beaker that I carry with me, so in case of emergency, and if I absolutely have to hit the button on the beaker, I can do that. But that'd be probably my last resort if I can make it out alive by myself. And that's the whole key, is getting back to home with everything you left home with. So I carry a backpack with me that I can survive off for at least over a week if I need to. And also, skills for, trapping and hunting and things like that for food. And different techniques you would use to find good water sources. So yeah, I would definitely, any new person that wants to get into this field, definitely pick up those skills. That's what I had to do personally myself, and just because I wanted to have that knowledge behind me in case something really bad happened, and so that, and getting as much knowledge as from other researchers that's been in this for a while. I think I'm hitting almost 30 years now with my knowledge and everything that I've learned out in the field. So that helps the newbies coming into this. Don't take everything with a grain of salt. As far as what you hear, different people and that sort of thing, and just make it fun. That's the key thing is make it fun. Is exciting for me.
If you had the money, would you do this full time, David? Like you could quit your day job and
let's see, won the lottery.
I would definitely 100% do that. I would at least try my very best. But yeah, most of my of my time probably would be spent towards doing that. More so than what it is now, because you have to work for a living. You have family responsibilities and stuff like that.
Well, it's not cheap either doing research.
It isn't cheap, especially if you want to do it right. And if you ask me if what we do nowadays is doing it right, it's not. It's kind of like the weekend warrior type of thing,
Yeah.
Always relate it back to what Jane Goodall, how she had to, get out there and 24/7 and live with the apes to understand them, to get close to them, and that sort of thing. I think the same approach would have to be done with the Sasquatch.
Do you think it would work if somebody the right demeanor in the right area with the right subjects? Do you think it could work, and where you could habituate them to get close enough to get footage or proof and study them at close range?
I think you could. It would take a lot of time. Like I said, these creatures are very highly intelligent, more so than what some people probably give them.
Yeah.
Anything that could, could systematically create, tree structures and weave stuff, almost similar to what the Indians used to do back in the day. That's like I said, it's a form of intelligence, and it leans more towards human capabilities. So I think the biggest thing is that they rather not have anything to do with humans, unless there's stories of where humans got lost in the woods or got hurt in the woods, and they're on death's door, and these things come by and pick you up, and they drop you off the closest human population as possible. So they have a caring sense about some of them. They know the family realm type of thing, so they know that person belongs to somebody. So they're kind enough to look out for them. Not all cases are like that, but some are more aggressive human behavior.
Well, why do you, just to change the subject for a minute, why do you think Florida is such good habitat for these creatures?
I
Is
think
it
it's
the swamps?
I think it's a kind of a tropical type of area.
Mm-hmm.
I think because there's a vast majority of things you can live off the grid with here on the as far as food and water. There's tons of springs that are hidden throughout Florida. Um, so you got clear drinking water.
Is all of Florida covered by limestone underneath that?
Yeah,
All of
yes,
it.
yeah.
Like,
It's like a coral reef bed, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah. That's why in Miami, when I used to work for a railroad company, we worked down there. You can never. It was against the law to use any dynamite in Miami to get through this coral bed because it would make actually like if you were to use dynamite or any kind of explosives like that, it would put a crack and send that crack down miles through Dade or Miami Dade, and it would really mess up a lot of foundations.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to just chip and dig with backhoes and trackhoes and that sort of thing just to get to building stuff down there. So, but yeah, it's pretty thick coral
Could you
bed.
imagine all of the underwater caves under Florida? It's just
Oh
going to be
yeah.
insane.
Well, the aquifer, yeah, it's pretty depth and pretty deep down there.
Labyrinth.
Yeah. So and there's people actually go diving. Some people dive through those things, and it's pretty interesting to watch. Yeah. I probably get a little claustrophobic doing that, but
Have you ever thought about, why Florida? Why Florida? Is it the huge amount of food supplies? Is it there? I mean, I've always thought of them as water apes. That they love water.
Water apes, yeah.
Water apes, yeah.
They need to buy water.
Well, they do like seafood. They do like oysters, that sort of thing. There's been reports of them. There is a couple guys that are actually poachers, and they're they were in an area that they actually saw these huge tracks that were coming from brackish water, kind of an inlet near the ocean. So you have brackish water there. So you would have oyster beds in there. And apparently these creatures, there's a set of three tracks, separate tracks. And these guys would follow these tracks. And at the end of these prints, these large prints are about 14 to 16 inches long. At the end of all these prints, it looks like, they said it looked like somebody with a big hairy butt sat down, all these things sat down, and all was what they saw was empty oyster shells. Now you tell me, if a human can open up an oyster shell barehandedly like that, that's pretty strong, right? So I tried to get in touch with those gentlemen, and this was many years back, and I actually got the information from a lady from California, because she got the report from these guys, and then they kind of clammed up because they knew they were in an area that they shouldn't have been in and hunting. So I think they wanted to clam up and not say a word and not get in trouble, because in that area nobody was allowed actually to be in there, any hunting or otherwise. So it was strictly off limits. And again, these are areas that these creatures will be living in, is people where humans can't get into. And but Florida, I don't know, it seems to be like a hot spot for them. I mean, I think they like it here. I don't think the heat bothers them because they know where to go to get cool. And, you got these springs all over the places, and they can stay hidden there and cool.
Do you think there's more activity in the winter months versus the hot summer months?
Do you think they migrate?
I don't. I think they do migrate. I mean, they can. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I had a lady freak out and was telling me about her encounter up in I call the armpit of Florida, right up around Perry, Florida. And it's very thick with forests out there. Not a lot of people live through there, but there's a stretch of road that goes through there, and that a lot of people travel to get north and south. And she had an encounter where she saw one on the side of the road, and she thought it was a tree, like a tree stump or a tree. And until the head turned and looked at her as she drove by, and it freaked her out because she can see the eyes reflecting off the lights of the car, and it freaked her out pretty bad. And she told her husband, and because she lived in the Panhandle, and she was going down South Florida to do. I think she was a photographer for school children, so she was going down to do to shoot some school children for their yearly yearbooks and stuff. And her husband said, "Oh, those things are only down in Florida." And and I told her in the same breath, I said, "Well, they had to get to Florida or South Florida somehow." So, so they do I think they do kind of migrate if they want to. I think they also may travel where the food is too.
Yeah.
They pretty much have to if they're looking for any particular source of food that they may need, like the nutrients and so forth. Which, there's a lot of deer and hog down here, which they would definitely.
It's a food bonanza.
It is. It's like a buffet down here for them. And you see a lot of carcasses of deer in weird areas, and areas where, hunters would definitely not leave a deer like that. They would, gut it out and take the good meat and leave all the rest.
Have you found deer that have been, eaten in a weird way or opened up in a weird way?
Not as of yet. We did see some alligators that were, that could have been done by poachers as well, but some critters that looked pretty bad, and like they were bad off shape, where they were kind of like twisted and torn apart. There have been reports of deer being down here with their heads ripped off and the other part of the body is just missing, or just something bludgeoningly just took out the kidneys or the liver and the heart and all the high nutrients of the deer.
Hey David, I'm sorry to cut you off. We do have an after hours show. I don't know, Doug, if you wanted to invite him to it.
David, you can absolutely join.
Sure, yeah.
Why don't you hang out? You can leave at any point if it gets too late for you, but
I would like to. I was going to tell you about the most aggressive encounter, I think.
Well, that would be a great story to say in a minute here.
Yeah, we're going to be going on that in just minutes. It's a member-only thing.
Oh, okay.
And why don't we say good night to everybody? If you we'll come back next week. We'll have another great show, same time, same place. This week we've got a shorter show because of this member meeting we're doing. So if you're not a member, consider it. We're going to be doing more and more things for our members. Once we get kind of, we're still new. We're new at this, Alex.
Yeah,
I wish we weren't.
Again, guys, if you do want to join tonight, go to YouTube, get a membership. You can watch us live. Otherwise, it'll be recorded. You can watch it later. And David, if you're interested in joining, I'll send you a join link in just a second here.
Sure.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my part in